Hello and welcome to Chronicles of a Daisy. My name is Emily Daisy Gasca, and I am your host for today. I am here to pour into you. I am here today just to share and open up and invite you to be part of my ecosystem as we are women on a mission to cultivating an environment that's filled with lots of love, lots of joy, lots of peace, and lots of patience as we navigate through life. I want to thank you for being here today and being a part of my ecosystem as I am on a mission to helping other women by giving them the tools and resources on how to cultivate an environment that's filled with love, joy, and peace, whether in our home, in our lives, and in our classrooms. We are here with one mission. We are here with one end goal in mind, and that is to do so with grace, that is to do so lovingly and joyfully as we pour into our future generations, our children, our young adults, and those that we are surrounded with. Some of us may be surrounded with young adults, some of us may be surrounded with young children. And the beautiful part about being around other generations, the next generations, is that we have the wisdom, we have knowledge and insight that they don't have. So our role in their lives can change the trajectory of their life. If I look back and think about who has made an impact in my life, who has helped change the trajectory of my life, because at every point in my life, whether I was a child, whether I was a young adult or a woman or a wife, as a wife and as a mother and as an educator, there has always been somebody that has came into my life and has changed the trajectory. God has always sent somebody to make sure that I am back on path, that I am on the right track, that I may steer away to the left and I may steer away to the right. But He always brings me back to the center where I was meant to be all along. And sometimes this is what helps me navigate through things in life. This is what helps me stay focused and calm. This is what helps me understand the world, have compassion and empathy, is because I know who I am. I know whose I am, and I know my identity. Today I had an early morning. I went and picked up some groceries, ran some errands, and on the way home, I decided to take the truck to get washed. And as I was going to wash my truck, I was getting closer in the street, and there was a car in front of me that was driving slow. This whole thing, the way it played out, just couldn't be more perfect. But as I'm driving and I see the car in front of me going real slow, and I'm like, oh, he's going slow. My turn is almost coming up. Should I go in front of him? Should I not? By then, I'm like, it's too late. It's all right. So we're driving, and all of a sudden, here comes this big truck. Just truck. I don't even know what kind it was, but it was a bigger truck than mine. And it literally gets in the middle of both of us. And I look in my rearview mirror and I think, okay, why didn't he get in behind me? Why did he shove himself in the middle of us? There wasn't that much space. It was barely enough space for that vehicle to squeeze in. So this vehicle squeezed him or herself in. And all of a sudden, the truck that was in front, the one where I debated whether or not to go around because it was driving slowly, was turning into the car wash. The truck that came in between us, that big truck that shoved itself right in between, was also turning into the car wash. And here I am. I'm like, okay, so now I got to let these two cars in front of me go first because I chose to just stay in my lane, keep driving because my exit was almost coming, or my turn was almost coming. Because of that, I'm going to be the third car. The line was literally like it was empty. There was no line. All of a sudden, there's like 6, 7 cars. I'm like, how? So we pull up. It's 3 different sections where you can pay, but I have the automatic. I could just drive up and the gate will just go up. So I'm driving and I'm in the back, right? And because I'm in the back, I have the advantage of staying back and looking to see which lane is going faster. So in all of this, the truck that is in front of me, also, I hope you're still with me, okay? Because we're in 3 lanes. These 3 lanes each have about 2 cars. And then they're slowly making their way through. Then here I am all the way in the back behind all these cars, 6 cars or so. All of a sudden, I say, okay, that lane. I go to a lane. There's 2 cars in front of me. And then the cars move. Somehow, I end up in the front of the line. The 2 cars that were in front of me ended up behind me. And as I'm driving, I'm like, oh my God. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, and the last shall be first. That's all I kept hearing and telling myself. And the last shall be first. And the last shall be first. There will be no more delays because here I am thinking, great, I have all these cars in front of me. I am not complaining. I'm just in my truck driving and singing and enjoying myself. And I am thinking about everything that just transpired, but not in a complaining way, in a way of, okay, why is this happening? Why did this just happen? What? Anyways, if you know me, I'm a very chill and calm person. It takes a lot for me to step out. It's very rare for me to just step out of my who I am, my identity. I'm very intentional about my peace. I'm very intentional about my calmness, my tranquility. So none of that phases me. And when I get to the front of the line, I'm like, there's the 2 vehicles that were in front of me driving down the street. And I'm just like, thank you, God, because the time has come. And I know that some of us may have felt like we haven't been seen. Some of us have felt like there's just been so much after trial, challenge after challenge. Yet we still persevere, we continue, and we do so with grace. We do so with a smile on our face. And as I was going through all of this, it just reminded me of how it's so important to keep our mind and our eyes focused on the things that truly do matter. Because so many things are going to happen throughout the day. This was just one incident in the day, and it happened before 9 o'clock. By 9 a.m., this had already transpired. This had already happened. And I could have chose at that moment, get upset, get angry, complain. There could have been so many things that could have happened or gone wrong, but I didn't. I'm enjoying myself. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm driving the truck's going to get washed. We're moving, we're rolling. And to see that I ended up at the front of the line, it was just the cherry on top. The cherry on top to my day. And this is something I experience on the daily. I had a revelation years back where I learned that complaining will lead to being unhealthy. Complaining will lead to disease and sickness. Complaining will lead to just misery. And when I had that revelation, I thought, okay, God, thank you for allowing me to see this, because sometimes we can complain and not even realize we're complaining, or we think it's normal. We do it so commonly that we grew up hearing complaints. We grew up being in an environment where complaining was normal, complaining was natural. Everything was a complaint. That's how things got done. And when I realized complaining causes sickness, complaining causes diseases, complaining causes things that I don't want in my life and I don't want for my children. So that's when I took the reins of my life, the reins of my actions and words, and I really started that journey to just be intentional about what I'm thinking, be intentional about what I'm doing, and be intentional about how I act. Why couldn't you just get in the back? Yeah, I did think that, but it did not affect me. I didn't even speak out of my mouth anything. I just thought it in my head, in my mind. But I didn't do it with upsetness or anger. I'm just like, why do people do what they do? And it's okay to acknowledge that, but it's not okay if I would have chosen to complain about it, or if I would have chosen to verbally say things to the driver or complain about the driver. And have I has my life always been like this? The answer is a big capital N. Oh, no. I just shared how I had to be very intentional when I had that revelation of complaining. I had to be very intentional with my actions and my thoughts. And it's still something that I work on every day. Every day. I'm very intentional. Every day I have to remind myself who I am. Every day I have to remind myself, yeah, I walk in my godly confidence, but I also walk in humbleness. And because I am humbled and surrendered, I know that everything's going to work out for my good. I don't have to worry. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to complain. And I share this with all of you because it wasn't easy at first. It's so much easier to complain and just vent and let it all out. So I had to really be very graceful with myself just as I was going through these changes and acknowledging, okay, I'm feeling this. But then once I would see, look at the benefits. Look at the favor that's on my life. Look what I am receiving, because what we put out is what we get in return. It's that law of reciprocity. So when I had that revelation, I'm just like, okay, let me be even more intentional about being kind and being joyful and acknowledging the emotions that are the opposite, acknowledging when something is not aligned with what I believe in. But it doesn't mean that I have to condemn myself. And I think that's something that it takes a lot of maturity, it takes a lot of practice, it takes a lot of intentionality, but we are all capable of achieving. So when we talk about being intentional and when we talk about a joyful environment, it's the little things and the little details that add up. And we start with these small things, because when I started to say, okay, this is the environment I want for my life, I can tell you right now, it took me years to be in this environment. And it's still a work in progress. So nothing that we do is ever going to come to us instantly. It's years of unlearning. It's years of wired in our brain that we have to unwire. It's years and years and generations behind us who did things a certain way, who thought a certain way, who acted a certain way and moved a certain way, that we have to shift, that we have to pivot from, that we have to stop and begin new. And as I shared just about one simple thing, one action, one thought, this applies to everything in our lives. This applies to being a mother. This applies to being a wife. This applies to being an educator, how we see our students, how we talk to our students, how we think about our students. It's always looking beyond what the eyes can see. So I just want to share that today. I want to share this key that's going to help us, that this key that reminds us that the last shall be first. It's okay if you're last. It's okay if what you've been believing for, praying for, hasn't come to pass yet, because it's coming. And when it comes, it's going to be greater than what we expected. It's so important that as we navigate through life, we enjoy it and we do so joyfully. So I wanted to share this today. I wanted to share this key, this practical tool on how to be intentional, on how to let things roll right off of us as we learn, as we grow, as we embrace who we are becoming. Because if you are a part of my ecosystem, if you are a part of my community, we are growing, we are evolving, we are being strengthened with confidence, we are being strengthened and empowered with courage. That's why we have to get our heart and our mind right and set on things that matter, set on things that we want to see. That is the power of our mind, our brain working to navigate through life, working to navigate through the changes and embracing the journey. Every part of the journey is there for a reason. So I wanted to share that with all of you because I think that sometimes we can get so caught up in what other people are doing that we forget who we truly are, what is our identity, and that we are a work in progress, and we give ourselves grace, and we navigate through the challenges and the trials knowing that it will be for our good, even though it doesn't feel like it in the moment. It did not feel good to let that car in between us. It did not feel good to be driving behind that slow truck. It didn't feel good. But because I was patient, because I was focused on the end, right? Like, I'm getting my truck wash. You're not stealing that excitement. You're not taking away from this experience. I enjoy getting my truck wash. Simple things like that. It's in those little details. I didn't allow that to take me away from that. That was my end goal. That was what I want. By what I intended to do was get my truck wash. Whether I was first or last, I was not thinking about that. But when I started seeing this slow car and then this truck just get in the middle of us, I'm like, what is going on? But I never spoke nothing about it. I just continued to sing my heart out. I continued to enjoy my ride. And I ended up in the front of the line. So I wanted to share this with all of you because I think that navigating through life sometimes can be challenging, or we wonder, why me? Or we wonder, why hasn't it happened for me? Why am I still waiting? It's patience that will get us to the front of the line. It's patience and kindness that will get us through the front of the line. It's about choosing to be joyful and not letting that take away from my excitement of getting my truck wash. It's knowing that end goal and focusing on it. Just something to ponder on, something to think about as Chronicles of a Daisy is embarking season 2. I just want to encourage all of you to continue to do the work, the intentionality behind cultivating an environment that's filled with love, with joy, and with peace and patience, because we will be rewarded for our patience. And it's so beautiful when you understand and have that revelation what can happen. And when you get there, when you reach there, guess what? We're going to keep going higher. We're going to go to another level of joy, level of peace, level of patience, level of joy, peace, patience, kindness, because we are receiving so much goodness back. But I want to thank you for being here with me today. And please let me know if this has blessed you. You can message me, you can DM me, you could drop a comment, you can text me, you can email me, but reach out and let me know if this has blessed you in any way. Now, as we begin season 2, I do want to transition. I do want to share what is happening for Chronicles of a Daisy, what is we're about to embark, because my mission and vision in life is to reach as many women, as many educators, as many moms, and provide you with practical tools, practical resources, and stories of encouragement, and empower you to know, to tap into your greatness, because I know there is greatness inside each and every one of us. So my mission is to provide for all of us, including myself, tools and resources, and hearing others' journey and testimony, and amplifying the voices of phenomenal educators, amplifying the voices of phenomenal women and men in the field of education, amplifying the voices of people who are making a difference. That is my mission in life. so that we may be empowered, we may be encouraged as we hear their testimonies, as we hear their journey, as we hear their stories. Chronicles of a Daisy is just getting started, and I urge you to subscribe. I urge you to connect with me, connect with the phenomenal educators and those whose voices will be amplified through this platform as we embark. Season 2 is going to be all about others sharing their journey with us, others sharing their testimony and their why. And as we listen, we embrace the beautiful journeys. We embrace what they share and take away practical tools, take away just one thing that can empower us and make and help us feel like if they can do it, so can I. That's what life is all about, is connecting with others and networking and hearing their journeys, hearing their stories, and being encouraged, being empowered, and meeting new people and hearing, wow, that's how they did it. Wow, look at where they are. So, Chronicles of a Daisy season 2 is about to begin, and I just want to let you know it is going to be an amazing, amazing season 2. And I want to thank you in advance for joining me. Even if you are not in the field of education, we share tools and resources for moms. We share for parents to listen and hear. We send our kids to school daily, 6, 7 hours. They are away from home, from us, in the hands of educators who are pouring into them, equipping them with the tools that they need to be lifelong learners, to be successful citizens, to build their character. So, as moms and dads and parents at home, aunts and uncles, like, we have a major role to play. And it's time that we bridge the gap between what is happening in the household and what is happening in the children's home life with what is happening in our school system. Yes, thank you so much for being here today. I hope this episode has blessed you, and there's one key takeaway for you from this episode. And please join me back next week as we share the episode for season 2 with our first special guest. Thank you for being here. Thank you. You could be anywhere in the world doing anything else, but you are here listening to me. So I truly value that and appreciate your support and appreciate your friendship as we cultivate this community and this ecosystem. Thank you. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and talk to you all soon. Love you all, and bye.